Hey everyone, welcome back to the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I am the Entrepreneur Coach, Bree Seeley. I'm here with a good, dear friend. As my friend Ginger says, Frawleague, a friend who is also a colleague. I adore Adrienne. We got introduced last year. We've done a few collaborations together. She is super genius about certain things in business. I see all of her TikToks and all of her Instagrams, and I'm always like, girl, tell me more. I need to know all the things. So I'm really excited to introduce y'all to her today and dive in. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I'm the Entrepreneur Coach, Bree Seeley. My mission is to help female entrepreneurs like you have the audacity to believe in the inevitability of your success, then to gather the resources, tools, and knowledge you need to create your most aligned and profitable pathway to your vision of success. This podcast is all about providing you with a nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Forget the success porn and the rags to riches stories. Each episode will pull back the curtain and share the reality of entrepreneurship. I cannot wait to be part of your journey. Adrienne Hill built a career in corporate America managing multi-million-dollar launches for Fortune 500 companies. She channeled that experience into creating and building out a structured, systemized approach to building her own brand online. Using her proprietary system, she created an instant audience in the thousands and launched multiple programs which all scaled to six-figure businesses in only 6 months each. She now focuses on helping entrepreneurs to build the skills, structure, and systems they need to scale to $50,000 months and beyond. Adrienne is passionate about helping coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers to make the smartest use of their limited time while they build their income to the point where they can make their business their primary focus. When she's not working on her business, you can find her hiking, fishing, traveling, or having outdoor adventures with her husband, adult children, and golden retriever puppies. Hi, Miss Adrienne, welcome.
Hey, Bree, thanks for having me. And hey, everyone, it is so nice to meet you and have some time with you.
Tell us first, how long have you been an entrepreneur?
It's kind of a loaded question. It depends on where you start measuring. I officially started my very first business in 2014 in network marketing. That's a whole dumpster fire of a story. Then I pivoted a dozen times, but I really launched what I consider my core business today in 2020.
I love hearing that there have been iterations, especially early stage entrepreneurs think that they need to pick a thing. It's kind of how we're raised, our culture anyways. You go to college, you pick a thing, you do it for the rest of your life. It's not how our world works anymore. With entrepreneurship, you do have to get your feet wet. It's not an exact science. You have to try something and figure out, does it work? Does it not work? Are there things that can stay or are there things that need to go? I love hearing that you've had iterations over 6 years before you found the thing.
I refer to that time period as me riding the struggle bus in circles to Hot Mess City for 6 years, because it did take me truly that long to figure out what's my zone of genius. What's my jam? What am I good at? Because at first I was just listening to the echo chamber of advice you hear bouncing around out there online. I was listening to everyone else, but I wasn't listening internal. What makes me different? What would I love? What would I enjoy? How could I truly help people? I think everyone has that phase. For some people, it's a couple months long. For me, it was 6 years long, unfortunately. But it's a part of my story. It's the reality of it.
Same. I started in 2015. My first program, I think, was called something about feminine, something. Then I started teaching manifestation. My book came out, Permission to Leap. And so I was teaching about taking big leaps. I didn't land on entrepreneur coaching until 2019. I only landed on it because a friend of mine was like, you're ranking on Google. And I was like, oh, well, what's this thing? So what do you feel like was your story? What were some of the things that showed you that it was time? Oh, that's not working. Let me try this thing.
A big part of it was finding my voice. What did I actually like speaking about and helping people with? What was I good at? Learning to turn off the echo chamber and listen more internally to my own inner guidance. That was half the struggle. Then the other half the struggle was, how do I build a damn audience? Lead generation was killing me. building an audience on social media, it's powerful, but I call it the long game. It takes some time. As I was figuring out my voice, I was trying to build that audience. I'm a super ambitious, driven person. I think that's part why you and I connect so well, because we're both cut from the same mold. I just didn't have time for that. I was like, no, I want to go big and I want to go fast and I don't want to mess around. They kind of came crashing together right around the same time. When I finally did find my direction, I think that's why I took off so fast, because I finally clicked on what my zone of genius was. I finally clicked on how to build an audience and take off, and it all just went from there.
I love that we're taking this here. I was just having coffee this morning with another frolic who's also on my board. She's also a coach. She and I were talking about social media, and I was sharing with her how I just had my first 6-figure launch. I think I posted about it once on social media. I didn't use social media at all for any of it, because it's really hard nowadays to get noticed and to get conversions. Your messaging has to be really dialed in, and it's really hard.
Huge time suck and energy suck. Like, it will deplete you faster than anything else, because as you're going through that phase of, well, but what do I want to talk about? And well, this video didn't hit, maybe the next one will. You're self-doubting, you're questioning your worth, you're questioning your offer, you're questioning your marketing, you're questioning your positioning, you're questioning your funnel, you're questioning everything. No one needs to go that deep in the head game. That is not doing you any favors. It's a brutal place to be. And I know tons of entrepreneurs swirl around in that place for a really long time.
We're kind of the first wave of people that are truly going through a lot of this. 2012 was when I first got on Instagram, and it was brand new at that point. We are the pioneers of using social media. There's become this gray area between content creators and business owners. Being a business owner doesn't mean you need to be a content creator, and being a content creator doesn't mean that you're going to make any money in your business either.
Tons of people don't realize how truly separate those two worlds are. Interestingly enough, because I started in network marketing, it was the most painful way to start. I learned all the things not to do. I was the worst person out there. I was the spammy person on social media, posting all the before and afters and being like, buy my shit. It was a great learning curve. I needed that learning. The universe gave it to me in the absolute best way possible, real life experience.
And early on, so you could get it out of the way and
move past it. Because of that, I jokingly say that I was traumatized by prospecting in the DMs. And I was traumatized by how much of an energy suck social media is. That constant feeling of, you didn't post today, you have to post today. Did you put a story? Did you put a post up? Did you? It's just this thing in the back of my head that I just hated. I vowed at that point in time, as I was pivoting, I am determined to build a thriving, healthy business that doesn't rely on social media, because I'm so traumatized from the prospecting and I'm so traumatized from the constant content creation that I'm determined to find a way to do it without that. I drew a line in the sand and I really had no idea how, but I am so stubborn. I will find a way. It's happening.
Maybe that's the other reason we resonate with each other, because we're both super stubborn. First of all, I want to say so many women come to me and they get stuck on that. I don't know how. Because they get stuck on that, I don't know how, they don't take any action. Clearly, that wasn't you. If you did get stuck there, how did you overcome it? What did you do to figure out a solution?
Oh, it's such a tipping point for so many people, because it's so easy to make the excuse of, I don't know how, so I guess I'll just quit. Or I don't know how, so I guess I'll procrastinate. There's something about my flavor of stubborn. I want to prove to myself and I want to prove to other people that I will succeed no matter what. Yeah, you see me failing over here, but guess what? When I prove to you that I can make 6 figures in 6 months, oh, it is going to feel so good. I kind of have a little bit of that in me. Almost the bigger the challenge or the bigger the obstacle, the more likely I am to be like, I'm going to get all over this. That's a personality thing. I'm not really sure how to teach someone that. It's like the grit and resilience of entrepreneurship. You can't fold under pressure. You got to step up as the pressure increases.
One of my friends who's also on my board yesterday referred to me. Bree is one of the most determined people I've ever met, and it's why she joined the board. She referred to me as a dog with a bone. I think that that is something that can't be taught, but you do have to be hungry enough for the thing that you're going after, that you're willing to go after it despite how the world looks around you and all of the quote unquote proof that's telling you that it's ridiculous to go after what you want.
There's a thrill for me for achieving something that is so ridiculously unachievable. Oh, I love that. Let's figure that one out because that is going to be so juicy when it comes together. I think you and I are the same. We're both totally a dog with a bone, which is why we click so well. I just didn't let it stop me. Instead of making it the reason I didn't, I made it the reason I had to.
I love that. This is a theme that's come up in a lot of my podcast episodes recently. A lot of women have said there were all sorts of reasons for me not to do the thing. And instead of letting those reasons be the thing that stopped me, I turned them into gasoline, I poured it on the fire, and I let it fuel me instead. Pardon the interruption as we take a brief break before bringing you back to our episode. Are you an entrepreneur who feels like you're running a marathon on a hamster wheel each day, but you'd really rather be swimming with the pigs in the Bahamas or having breakfast with the giraffes in Africa? You're getting okay results in your business, but you're ready for exceptional results. It's time to hit the reset button to give your business a makeover and evolve into your next level of entrepreneurship. I want to invite you into the Reset, a 5-day business makeover to evolve your business from acceptable to exceptional. Visit breesealy.com/reset to get free access to this resource that will forever change the trajectory of your business. How did you begin to figure it out? Obviously, you've got this fire burning inside of you. What did you do to start finding a solution?
I had done all the social media things that failed. I had created an unhealthy relationship with pumping money into ads to try to make that work. Then my ads account got shut down. I was like crying in a puddle on the floor thinking, I think I'm at that moment where I'm going to quit. I think I'm there. I was talking to my husband about I'm actually going to quit. I think I've hit my breaking point. I can't handle Facebook shutting my ads account down. It just melted my brain. He said, well, I'll support you in anything you want to do, but are you sure? I attended one last workshop from someone who was teaching audience building. I caught the vision of what she was talking about. And I thought, this is that missing puzzle piece I've been looking for. This is the thing that makes me not need social media. This is the thing that makes me not need paid ads anymore. This is the thing I've been looking for. I was literally this close to quitting when I found the solution, and energetically inside of me, I was so 100% certain that this was what I had been looking for, that I was all in. I excitedly told my husband, okay, I know I said I was going to quit. One last Hail Mary. This is the final. No fucking around. It's going to happen now. And he was like, okay, if you say so, I will support whatever you want to do. At the time, we were engaged. We weren't married yet. I bring that up because all the reasons that said I couldn't succeed, it was 2020, height of the pandemic. I was planning a wedding during a pandemic, which is insane. I was now planning my launch for my new business, and I was running a high-powered corporate job where I was also launching a big product in that job. All the reasons saying, no, it's not the right time. I launched my business the day after my wedding. I made it the reason I had to. I was like, I can't wait a minute longer. I'm going to do this. For me, that missing puzzle piece was that audience building piece that didn't rely on social media. I've fallen in love with it. And to this day, it is the foundational element of how I run my business. And it's online virtual summits. It changed my life.
I have been very anti-summit for a while. I've thought about running them myself and something didn't fit with me. And then I started seeing how you ran them, the integrity and the people you brought together and the community that you brought together. It wasn't just about getting leads on your email list to sell them. Of course, all of those things are integrated. It's about so much more than that. There's collaborations happening with all the speakers. Everyone's in a community together. Everyone's connecting and learning from each other. And it becomes so much more than just a lead generation source. That you were my inspiration this year to host my first one, which is awesome for everyone that's listening. Full disclosure, it hasn't happened yet. I just asked her literally before we hit record if Adrienne would be part of it. Hopefully it all works out and happens, but it's because of you and seeing what you've been able to do without social media that I'm now trying it in my business as well.
I love that. My background is in project management. When I said I was launching something in my corporate job, I managed multi-million-dollar launches for billion-dollar brands. You would have thought that would have been obvious to me. That's my zone of genius, but it wasn't. I had an honest moment with myself where I was like, what makes me different than every other business coach out there? Well, it's probably my project management background. It's probably that I've launched all these things in corporate, and now I can pick all the best little pieces and parts of what I learned there and apply it in the online world. Duh moment. So I thought, okay, what's at the heart of project management? It's that you never rely on one person to achieve an entire launch. It's always the success of multiple people coming together and creating leverage. So I thought, okay, what's the online version of that? Multiple people coming together for a virtual summit and creating leverage that way. This is such a no-brainer. It was such a natural fit for me.
The truth is, if you alone are trying to lift 100 pounds, it's hard. I couldn't lift 100 pounds if I tried. But if I got me and 10 other, 20 other people to help me lift that 100 pounds, it becomes easy. And we're all pouring our energy and our effort and our strength into a common goal, which also, if anyone knows anything about energy, when you have all sorts of people funneling all of their energy into a singular endpoint, it has way more momentum behind it than if you are trying to do it alone, which is kind of what social media is.
Social media is trying to do the heavy lifting all by yourself. I love that you mentioned that you used to be anti-summit, because I think there's three big buckets of people out there. People who have never heard of summits and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? People who are anti-summit because they've either seen them run poorly, they've had a bad experience with it, or of course, then people who use them and love them, but they misunderstand how to do it correctly. The way I like to run them, and clearly you saw a difference in the way that I do things, is I looked at how would a project manager do this, but how would a project manager do this in a way where it was a win-win-win? It's a win for the host, because of course you're building your email list. And in fact, you're getting paid to grow your email list, which is my favorite part. It's a win for all of the speakers because they feel like their area of expertise, their knowledge is honored. It's represented properly on the stage. The way they're branded and brought forward is really professional. They get a ton of leads and sales out of it too. Then it's a win for the audience because the audience is getting all this incredible value for free. And they're meeting all these experts. I think there's a lot going on in the online world right now, and this just literally makes me sick. People are faking testimonials. The whole deep fake video thing where half the stuff you see, is it even real? It's just getting weird. What I love about this too is we very carefully vet all of our speakers. We make sure that they're high integrity. We stalk them on social media. We kind of do a weird amount of stalking as we're vetting these people. You can trust then, especially if you have someone who's hosting well, which I'm sure you will when you do it. I'm so excited for you. You then have an entire panel of trusted experts. Okay, these people have been vetted. This isn't some fly-by-night operation or some hack on social media that's fooling everybody. The value for the audience is incredible. Everyone coming forward has that win-win-win energy. It's just an amazing business building tool. And you can build from absolute zero with this strategy, but you can also use it when you're more experienced, like you and I are. You can use it to scale because once you figure out the moving pieces and parts, it's something that you can delegate 99% of it to your support team. Really, the only part you have to show up for is doing the interviews or the live stream if you're doing it live. It's just my favorite.
Adrienne and I are not saying we are anti-social media. We're not saying don't use social media. We both definitely still use social media. I've just started using it in a different way. And what you said is exactly what Pamela and I were talking about this morning. It becomes that thing when you're, for example, at the mall. I was at this very bougie mall in Minneapolis over Christmas. You walk down the hallways of the mall and you're looking in the windows to see if there's anything that you want to go into the store for, that you want to take a deeper dive into that thing for. Social media has kind of become window shopping. If you see someone that you resonate with, yes, you follow their content, you like their content, you maybe dive a little bit deeper into it. You might walk into that store and see what else they have. You follow them for a little while, you stalk them, and then you decide if there's something that you want to buy within that. But it's very rare nowadays that someone goes immediately from never learning about you or knowing about you to becoming a customer via social media off of a single post or even two posts. I love that you said that because it is true. We still need to have social media as our window shopping so that people can look us up, see our value, see our energy, see our integrity, and then decide if they want to go deeper with us. But the sales element of social media has changed over the last 12 years.
It's definitely a slower build. It's highly valuable, but it's what I call the long game. It just takes longer to build. There are people out there who are converting fast, but these are expert marketers. Their zone of genius is content marketing.
With big budgets, let's be real.
Yes. Oh, yes. If you're not an expert marketer, don't expect social media to deliver super fast for you. It's going to be a slow build. The thing about social media too, a lot of people show up there when they're just filling dead time. You have 10 minutes until your dentist appointment. So you're like, I'll pull out my phone. Usually people are on there filling dead time, or they're entertaining themselves while they wait for the next thing that's happening in their life. Like you said, they're window shopping. They're just browsing. They're not like, oh, I'm searching for my next coach. No, I'm filling 10 minutes into my dentist appointment.
The difference then between that and the summit is that you have all these experts. The experts already have an audience of people who know, love, and trust them. What happens is that know, love, and trust then extends to the host because the other experts are saying, you know, love, and trust me. I know, love, and trust them. Therefore, you now know, love, and trust them. It's like a referral or an introduction. If you introduced me to someone, I trust them because I trust Adrienne.
It's like referrals on steroids, because instead of one person referring someone to one person, it's one person referring someone to 20 people. You have all 20 people's audiences all being referred in, and it gets really big, really fast. The other magical thing about summits is when people land on an invitation page for a summit, they start shopping through the speakers and they're looking at their speaker topics. They're looking at their expertise areas and they're like, ooh, I've been wanting to figure that out. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, and this thing has been on my, oh, maybe this will be the thing I activate next. Oh, but wait, this one, I'm signing up. They're actively problem aware. They're actively solution aware. They're actively looking for how to solve problems in whatever topic area. You have people showing up. They're not passively scrolling, actively searching for their next coach, their next program, their next course, whatever that is. People generally who show up to a summit, they're in buying mode. Very different mindset than passively scrolling or filling dead time or window shopping.
Currently, as this episode is going live, you have a summit that people can join and enroll to, of course, one, learn all of the things, but two, see how a very well done summit is run. Where do people go to find out more information about this?
It's called the Business Breakthrough Mastermind. We're going to have 15 experts, including Bree and myself, in there. So you guys got to jump in there. It's totally free to attend. You're going to get to watch all of these expert panels for free. I think it's strategies-systems.com/mastermind. I want you guys consuming it from an audience member, watch all the trainings, have fun, but also look at it like you're in the know now. Look at it strategically from how are they running this? How are they structuring this? When do the emails come? When do the text messages come? How is the information conveyed? Look at the branding. Look at how we bring all those things together. It's a great example for you to have that expert eye on now as a strategist. Put on your strategist hat and experience of it from that perspective too.
I love that. Look at it from how can I make this work for my business? If you are someone who social media hasn't been working for you, which I'm guessing is the majority of the people listening to this episode, and you're ready to try something new, would definitely invite you to join us. Where should people connect with you? How do they find you if they want to learn more?
In between these different summits I host, you can always go to my website, buildalifebydesign.com. We always have information there about whatever our next workshop or class or series is. I always have tons of free classes and workshops and stuff going on in there. You can check out some different client results we've gotten and you can stalk me a little bit. I get it. You might want to stalk a little bit. That's probably the easiest way to find me in between these events that we host.
Awesome. Adrienne, thank you for sharing your entrepreneurial journey with us and for sharing a major solution that you found to a problem you were having in your business. I'd really appreciate you and our friendship and our frolic-ship. Excited for everything else that's to come for this year. Make sure if you're listening, go sign up for the summit right now. Adrienne and I cannot wait to see you in there. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Entrepreneur Coach podcast. I hope you gained valuable wisdom from this episode and have at least one thing you can act on today. As I always say, listening to this episode will not change your life. What you do afterwards will. Please be sure to leave a rating and a review of the show, and don't forget to share this episode with a friend or colleague who could use it. Last but not least, please have the audacity to believe in the inevitability of your success today. You deserve it.